This boy is Sandile Shezi. Sandile didn't come from money. Far from it. In fact, his childhood was marked by hard work and poverty. But even at a young age, Sandile had a spark, a restless energy that made him look for ways to change his life. He started small, like any kid might, selling muffins at school to make some extra coins.
Which is why a lot of people sort of get inspired by my story, because I don't come from a rich family. I started off like any other young man. I remember my first business, I was actually selling muffins. A lot of people don't know that, and it built from there and to where I am today.
But here's the twist. Instead of spending that money on toys or sweets, he had something bigger in mind. He was already thinking about trading, about his money working for him.
Now, when did you decide to start trading stocks?
It was in high school.
Think about that. Most kids his age are either dreaming about the next cool video game or a cool bike. But here was this young child thinking of making his money work for him. Sandile was dreaming about forex trading day and night, a place where currencies can be bought and sold. It's tricky, it's risky, and it's definitely not your typical playground chatter. But Sandile didn't just dream, he took action. With the money made from muffin sales, he decided to dabble in forex trading, even while still in school. Trading isn't a game, and for most people, it's something you learn after years of studying or experience. But Sandile was different. He threw himself into it with a fearless courage. In fact, his first big gamble wasn't just about his own money. When friends gave him their tuition fees for the year, money they trusted him with, he took that whole amount and used it to trade online. Imagine that kind of trust and that kind of risk. It's like a tightrope walk without a safety net. Did it work? For a while, yes. Sandile was smart, sharp, and quick to learn. The forex markets moves fast, and so does he. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Like any trader, he faced losses and tough decisions. The road was rough, but this experience would build the foundation for what comes next. Every story needs a great guide, someone who helps them lock their true inner potential. For Sandile Shezi, that person was George van der Riet, a seasoned forex trader with over 15 years experience. George wasn't just a mentor, he was a partner, a coach, and a believer. Together, Sandile and George started something special, the Global Forex Institute. The idea was bold. Teach people from South Africa how to trade properly so they could escape poverty and ultimately unemployment. It wasn't just a school, it was more like a movement. Over time, the institute trained more than 10,000 people. Everyday South Africans eager to change their lives. Sandile was the face of the institute, the youngest self-made millionaire, and he was proud to claim that he made his first million at the tender age of 23. He drove flashy cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, you name it, and he had a lot of luxurious properties. He was living proof that anyone, even from the dusty streets from Umlazi, could make it big in life. By 2014, Sandile Shezi was on everyone's lips. Media outlets called him the youngest forex trading millionaire in South Africa. He wasn't just a trader, he was a symbol of hope for many young people in South Africa, as he was proof that poverty can be eliminated, that wealth and success were possible. The Global Forex Institute won awards for being the #1 forex training provider in Africa. Sandile's story was shared in newspapers, on TV, and across social media. His Instagram showed a lifestyle many can only dream of: expensive cars, first-class flights, and mansions always. But beyond the glitz, Sandile Shezi was passionate about education. He launched the Sandile Shezi Foundation, aiming to improve the lives of young Africans by improving health, education, and wealth. The foundation pledged to sponsor thousands of students and help many entrepreneurs with their ventures. This wasn't just about money. This was about changing lives. But every story has its shadow, and Sandile's is no different. Despite the success, whispers began to surface. Some students of the Global Forex Institute claimed that training wasn't what they expected. Others said the mentorship promised wasn't always there. More seriously, there were growing concerns about money. Large sums from investors who expected some big returns. And as Sandile's profile grew, so did the scrutiny. By 2021, things start to unravel. Reports emerged that Sandile Shezi was part of fraudulent schemes, allegedly scamming people out of their money through his forex trading and cryptocurrency ventures. One of the most heartbreaking stories was that of the Limpopo school principal. This man invested his entire 1.2 million rand pension payout in hopes of a better future. Instead, he was left empty-handed, watching Sandile Shezi live a flashy lifestyle on TV. This was the start of Sandile Shezi's fall. Before we go further, I just want to say thank you so much to you guys for supporting this channel. Please don't forget to smash the like button, leave your comment in the comment section. Please do share this around to spread the awareness. And if you're new here, please do subscribe. Back to the video. So picture this. By 2023, Sandile Shezi was no longer just an entrepreneur living a flashy life with expensive cars. Nope. Now he has his sights set on something much bigger. The presidency of South Africa. That's right. The same man who was claiming to be making millions through forex trading, yet he let a whole lot of people in the dust, is now claiming, I want to be the president of South Africa. He launched a political party called Vugama Africa, a movement that promised to unite the youth, tackle stuff head on, and bring new solutions to South Africa. Sandile said things like, we spend too much time complaining and not doing anything. He was trying to inspire hope, telling young people that they too can change their lives the same way he did. But here's the catch. At the very same time, some serious questions were swirling around Sandile. He was being investigated by the Hawks, South Africa's topmost crime-fighting unit, for fraud and money laundering. Let's rewind a little bit to October 2021. That was when Sandile Shezi was first hit with a warrant of arrest. The allegations that he defrauded multiple people out of their investments, including a retired school principal that he scammed out of 1.2 million rand, his entire pension payout. The principal had trusted Sandile after attending one of his forex seminars. Imagine that, believing in a man claiming to double your money, only to be left without your retirement nest egg. And this wasn't just from one person. Nope. Reports were coming in from a multiple of investors, people who gave Sandile a whole lot of investment for his various ventures, and when it was time for returns, they heard nothing except silence and empty promises. Despite these allegations, Sandile Shezi kept up appearances. He handed himself over to the police, got released on bail, and furthered his political ambitions. In fact, in May 2023, he was gearing up to launch his party on May 24th, promising a new dawn for South Africa's youth. Then came another shocker. Sandile Mkhize, Sandile's wife, was arrested in April 2023 for fraud and money laundering related to the very same investment schemes. The Hawk said she encouraged people through the community radio to invest in this alleged cryptocurrency scam. So now, the couple who painted a picture of youthful success and empowerment were both under investigation for scamming people out of millions. She was released on bail, but the damage was already done. The media started calling them the faces of a massive forex scam. Their glittering image tarnished. Sandile's court appearances became headlines. He was supposed to appear in Wynberg Magistrates Court in 2023, but missed a couple of dates, frustrating not only the law, the victims, but the public as well. A warrant for his arrest was issued, but just before the police could go and arrest him, he handed himself in. He was released on bail, but the trial dates kept on coming and going to no success. The retired school principal, the man who lost his whole retirement, said he was busy losing hope. Sandile Shezi had promised to pay this man 10,000 rand per week. But just after the first payment, he started ignoring the principal's calls and started blocking the guy from contacting him. When asked for comment, the principal said, "I don't think he cares. He's just doing as he pleases and he keeps getting away with it." Meanwhile, Sandile Shezi's flashy lifestyle kept making headlines. He owned a fleet of luxury cars, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maseratis, and he only vacationed in the most exotic of places. Wherever they flew, it was always first class, and he actually lived in a mansion in a very exclusive estate. But where was the money coming from? For many, including myself, it looked like a classic case of keeping up with the Joneses, but using other people's money to do so. And here's where the story hits close to home for anyone who has ever dreamt of overnight success. What happens when the house of cards collapses? Just when you think the story can't get any more tangled, it actually does. In mid-2023, Vugama Africa of Sandile Shezi merged with Arise South Africa, who was also a political party owned by Mpho Dagada. The goal? To unite the youth and to create a bigger political force in 2024. Dagada remained the president of Arise South Africa, while Sandile became the provincial leader for KwaZulu-Natal. But critics said this was just a way to keep Sandile Shezi in the spotlight while the legal troubles is dragging on. Was this political merger a genuine effort to help the youth, or a smokescreen to distract from the growing number of fraud allegations going against both of these gentlemen? It's easy to get lost in the headlines. Millions lost, arrests, court dates. But what about the people behind the story? Take the retired school principal from Limpopo for example. This isn't just a number. 1.2 million rand. That was his entire pension. The money he worked a lifetime for, that was supposed to keep him safe through his golden years. Instead, he's left with empty promises and heartbreak. He attended one of Shezi's seminars, trusting the trader's charm and capabilities. The seminar was at Meropa Casino near Polokwane, a place many locals know. The principal thought this was his chance to secure a better future, but it wasn't. After Sandile Shezi stopped paying the weekly 10,000 rand repayments, he ignored calls and blocked the guy from contacting him. This made his hopes fade, brought him tons of humiliation, and because of that, he is scared to speak to the public. This isn't just the only case like that. Besides the principal, dozens of other investors have come forward claiming they lost money to Sandile's schemes. Some invested thousands of rands, some hundreds of thousands. They were promised huge returns, sometimes doubling their money through forex trading and cryptocurrency investments. At first, some got small dividends or payments. That's a classic move called paying the early birds. This is to keep the scam alive and to attract more victims. But soon the payments stopped. Calls went unanswered. The shining millionaire disappeared behind a wall of silence. Fast forward to late 2023 and early 2024, Sandile appeared in court multiple times. Some dates he missed, other dates were postponed. Each time victims waited for justice, for answers, for their money. And Sandile's defense? He said he wanted to clear his name, that he was innocent and that he was working on repaying debts. But the court also revealed new charges: fraud, money laundering, and failure to repay investors. And then there was the case of his wife, Sandile Shezi, who was also arrested and released on bail. While the legal battles raged, the political scene changed. The merger of Vukama Africa and Arise South Africa created a bit of a buzz. Young voters were told to rally behind this new youth-aligned political party. But with Sandile's name now synonymous with scams, fraud, and money laundering, many people wondered if this party will survive all of these allegations. Some saw it as a distraction, a way to keep Sandile Shezi's name in the public despite all of the legal consequences piling. Others hoped that behind the chaos, there was still a chance for real change. As of mid-2024, Sandile Shezi's legal cases continue. Investigations by the Hawks are ongoing. The courts are slowly moving through the cases. Victims are waiting for answers, and the public, we're watching closely. Will justice be served? Will the victims get repaid? Will Sandile be able to fulfill his political ambitions? Only time will tell. By now, Sandile Shezi is no stranger to courtrooms. The bright lights, the anxious crowds, the ticking clock, it all became a part of his life. But this time, things are different. The courts are taking the fraud and money laundering charges seriously. Evidence piles up. Witnesses testify. Victims face the man they trusted. Shezi's story isn't just about money. It's about broken trust and lives that ended up being disrupted because of his schemes. Court after court, Shezi tries to defend himself, but the weight of the evidence is heavy. His attempts to repay investors has been slow and incomplete. The promises made, like those weekly 10,000 Rand payouts, all of those fell apart. But rest assured, justice may feel like a long, moving and slow process, but it will get there eventually. Once a hopeful presidential candidate with a youth movement, Shezi's political ambitions have hit a wall. The merger with Arise South Africa tried to bring hope and unity to young voters. But with Shezi's legal concerns growing, the party's future was uncertain. Young supporters were left wondering, can a movement survive when its leader is facing serious charges? The dream of changing the country didn't die, but it sure got a serious setback. Here's the truth. We all want to believe in dreams. We want to believe that someone young, smart, and bold enough can change the game. Sandile Shezi tapped into that hope, and that's why so many people followed him. But when dreams are built on shaky ground, the fall can hurt a lot of people. So, as you watch the story, think about this. How do we balance hope and caution? How do we hold people accountable, no matter how big or flashy they may seem? How do we protect ourselves and those we love? The answers aren't always simple, but asking these questions is definitely a start. If you or someone you know have been scammed, don't stay silent. Report it. Speak about it, because that way we can stop the next scam before it even starts. Sandile Shezi's story is a roller coaster. From young millionaire to accused fraudster, from hopeful politician to court defendant. It's about dreams, deception, and the real price of broken trust. But it's also a reminder we can learn, grow, and protect one another. Because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Do subscribe if you haven't yet for more stories such as this. And share this story. Let's start protecting one another. Stay informed. Stay safe. I will see you guys in my next video.